Hi, Abraham. I don't think this will take very long. I just need a little broader perspective, fine-tuning.
All is well. Oh, not that broad?
Well, yeah. Little fine-tuning. I mean, thanks to you, my life is completely transformed. I just moved to San Diego, my favorite city on the planet. We live in Encinitas. 2 weeks ago, we moved here.
Esther heard that and she feels jealous.
I know. I wondered, too, why doesn't Esther live here?
It's his fault.
I know. I figured out. Just forget
These
about him.
thoughts feel good to Esther. She's got to go with it.
Esther can move in with me. Heck with you. Anyway, so I have this fabulous life. I mean, unbelievable. And I keep saying the word unbelievable, which can't be unbelievable or I couldn't be living it, but I keep saying unbelievable. We have this fabulous house overlooking this extraordinary, beautiful place. I mean, my husband has this fabulous job, my kids, and I've got 2 areas I want refining on, and the second part is the kids, but the kids are in this great place, everything's so great, and then I have this little bit of static that comes up, like that other shoe dropping crap, that where it's like, oh, is this too good to be true? Is something going to happen? I mean, can I really have this magnificent of a life? Am I that good?
Yes. What do you think is the source of comparison that is making you...
Other people's experience. Because, I mean, I don't know anybody else that has a fabulous life like I have. And so I think, how'd I get all this? You know, am I...
You tell us. How did it happen?
From you. From what you've taught me.
So, are you saying that your life has improved?
Yeah.
So if your life has improved, does that mean that anyone else's could too?
Yeah.
So does that mean you have done something inappropriate by living well?
No.
And does that mean that they are doing something inappropriate by not living well?
No.
And is it possible that, like you before, that some of what they're living, which isn't nearly as good as what you are living, is helping them to hone their own preferences, so there are rockets of desires emanating from them which will benefit them in their future experience, just like your previous rockets are now benefiting you.
Yeah.
And there is one more thing that we want to give you.
Okay.
There are those who live better than you.
Oh, really? Oh. I can't imagine.
We weren't kidding earlier when we said you can find relief from everything. In other words, right now you're in this place where you're stabilizing, in this place where you are just recently manifesting a long-time desire, and you're just plucking all of the fruit from these newly ripened vines. But as all of that happens, this platform that you are now standing on will begin to produce for you yet some greater clarification of what you are wanting. In other words, as good as this is and as far as you have come, you are going to continue to have other things that you are desiring. And so this is the thing that we most want you to hear. As you see others not living as well, and you want them to live better, and you understand that as good as you are living, you still will live better. Rather than comparing the details of your life experience, if you will instead compare your potential for joy for right where you are, you will stop worrying. In other words, there are people who live much simpler lives than Jerry and Esther, for example, that have every bit as much joy as they have, even though their lives are much different in terms of manifestation or in terms of activity. In other words, you can't measure your success by the stuff you've accumulated or by where you're living. It's by the balance of emotions that you feel, you see. And so everyone has the same potential for joy. You've heard us offer this, but you will hear it even more clearly here. One time Esther saw something on television about something that happened to someone, and it was a terrible thing that had happened to them, and it brought Esther to her knees as she heard it. It was such a devastating story. And then later, as she recovered from it, she said to us, Abraham, if I feel this bad just hearing about what happened to somebody else, what must it have been like for them in the middle of it? And we said, it didn't hurt them quite as much as it hurt you. Because the way you feel is about the distance between who you really are and what you've activated in terms of desire and where you are vibrating right now. And so you don't know what anybody else is living or how they're feeling. And to superimpose your desires over their situations is always going to make you feel bad. And think about how that plays out as you say, I'm living such magnificent abundance and such joy. And this person over here doesn't have all that I have and therefore is not living that. Feel what happens to your own vibration as you focus in that way and take on that vibration for yourself, you see. That's why people have a hard time when we say you've got to be selfish enough to want to feel good no matter what. And empathy for others' struggles doesn't help them and it doesn't help you. And you can tell by the way you feel. You could be living a wonderful life, focus on somebody and get caught up in their trauma and their trouble so that you are offering a pretty steady vibration about that, and you make a U-turn and head right back to some place that you don't want to go.
Yeah, I've had that before.
And so as you say, we see that what's unfolding for you is about your determination to feel good. We remember you had some pretty severe depression going on there for a while, and it didn't feel good to you. You didn't know what to do about it, and now that's never part of your experience. And do you know the joy that you taste now is so much more enhanced by your distant memory of where you have been. In other words, your joy is sweeter to you having lived some of that depression than if you had not been there, and your determination to stay in that better feeling place is much stronger also, you see. So it's just going to get better and better and better for you. The other shoe will never drop. That other shoe only ever drops in the lives of people that don't know about vibration, don't know about law of attraction, and don't know the power and value of feeling good. It cannot happen for you. You know what happens? You watch those movies. The movies are so distorted. They show some bright-eyed, shiny being living at the peak of life, and they make you love them. You like their personality. You like the way they treat others. You like the way their life is. They make you fall in love with the well-being, and then they drop a truck on them.
Yeah, I know.
And then you say, I'm waiting for that to happen to me because just like that person. Jerry has noticed that if there is anything sensual happening in any movie, that right away the music will change and someone will stab them or chop them up with an axe.
Yeah,
in other words, they want you to believe that if it is sensual or sexual, that you're going to die over it, you see.
Yeah,
and what we are wanting you to understand is that those things that happen to others don't have anything to do with you. And as you stop and say, but this is where that worthiness issue comes in. You're saying, but I know that they are good people. Why do bad things happen to good people? And we say, because no matter how good you are, you can develop patterns that hold your well-being away from you. You see, you're over that. You don't have those patterns going on anymore. You are allowing the well-being to flow. And like anyone who has success with anything, the more success you have, the more you observe the success, the more you observe the success, the more you radiate the vibration. The more you radiate the vibration, the more you get. In other words, it is logical that your life will get better and better and better. Okay, and we look at you knowing how much potential is out there, and we don't feel the slightest bit sorry for you that you haven't realized it all yet. Good. Yes, indeed.